Submitting final grades using Blackboard's ILP Integration tool. Configuring a final grade column. When the registrar opens the grading period, faculty may submit a final grade through a special tool located within their course shells in Blackboard called ILP Integration. Through this tool, faculty can post final grades from Blackboard to InfoOnline. If you use Blackboard to provide assessment grades and feedback to students throughout the semester, you may configure a final grade column to work with the ILP Integration tool, and apply a letter grade schema to your final grade column to support your grading. In new courses, the Grade Center's Total column is marked as the source of student final grades through the column's external grade setting, the little green check mark at the head of the column. This setting identifies the column that determines final grades in the course, and communicates this to the course's ILP Integration tool. Only one column in the course can bear this status, but you can choose the column to which this setting applies. Configuring a final grade column in the Grade Center will ensure that the ILP Integration tool's current grade column accurately reflects your Grade Center's final grade calculations. To properly configure your preferred final grade column to work with the ILP Integration tool, you must perform 3 steps. Step 1. Identifying a grading schema in the course. In this step, I will demonstrate identifying and customizing a course's letter grade schema. This is an important step towards calculating accurate letter grades in the course. In this example, I have already logged into Blackboard and I am currently on the employee screen. On this screen, I'll see my course list module with the courses that I've been assigned to. To access a course, I click on one of the links in the course list, and I'm taken into my course. Now in this particular course, I have developed a grade center with assignments and tests and discussion board grades. So to access the grade center in the course, I can click on the Grade Center link that's in my control panel, and then go to Full Grade Center. So on this page you'll see the Grade Center that I have developed, and I'm displaying grades as percentages to students. And to review the letter grade schema and apply it to my total column, first I'll want to go to the Manage button at the top of the page, roll my mouse over it, and then choose Grading Schemas by clicking on it. I will be taken to my Grading Schemas page, and by default every Blackboard course has a default letter grade schema. And to view the schema, you can roll your mouse over the schema so that you see the little gray icon, click on the icon, and then choose Edit. And on this screen you can customize the schema, or you can just review its values. So, for example, let's say I just want to customize this. I'm going to call this, change its name to Final Letter Grade, and add a description. And if I scroll down the page to Schema Mapping, this is where I can define my grade ranges and the letter grades that are associated with them. If I need to make a change, I can just type in my text boxes here. Let's say that 100 to 93 is an A, right? And then I just have to adjust my values going down the page. Once you have reviewed the schema to make sure that it matches your grading policy, you can click the Submit button. So now that the grading schema has been reviewed and adjusted, I'm ready to perform my next step. Step 2. Editing final grade column settings. In this step, I will demonstrate the process of editing a final grade column's primary and secondary display settings to generate letter grades based on Grade Center calculations. I have returned to my course's Full Grade Center. To change the primary and secondary display values on my total column, all I need to do is run my mouse over the head of the column, click on the little gray icon that appears, and choose Edit Column Information. That will take me to my Edit Total column page. I will scroll down the page, and underneath the description box you will see the primary display and secondary display settings. Primary display is what shows up to students when they view their grades through the My Grades area, and also determines your data entry, how you will enter grades into the system. Secondary display is an alternative display that only you see in the Full Grade Center, and that is most useful as a troubleshooting technique to make sure that your grades are calculating correctly. So in this example, let's say that I want to display my grades as percentages to students, and in parentheses, for my own grading process benefit, I will set secondary display to my final letter grade schema. So what that will do is it will display letter grades to me in the Full Grade Center next to the student's percent grade. Okay, so to save these settings, then I just have to click Submit at the bottom of the page. And now that I'm back on my Full Grade Center page, you will see my total column displays a primary display of percent, and in parentheses I see the letter grades that are associated with the grade values. And this comes directly from my letter grade schema. Step 3. Assigning external grade status to the final grade column. In this step, I will demonstrate the simple process of assigning the external grade indicator to a final grade column. In new courses, the Full Grade Center's total column is marked as the source of student final grades through the column's external grade setting, the little green icon that appears at the top of the total column. Instructors may change which column to use as the source of final grades by assigning the external grade setting to a column of their choice. In this example, let's say that I wanted to use my weighted total column as the source of final grades in my course. To assign the external grade status indicator to my weighted total column, all I need to do is roll my mouse over the weighted total column, click the little gray icon that appears at the top of the column, and then in the context menu that appears, choose Set as External Grade. That's all there is to it. Once you have configured your final grade column in your Grade Center, it's recommended to check your ILP Integration tool to make sure that the grades you see in the current grade column reflect your calculations in the Full Grade Center. So for example, in this course, my weighted total column is now my final grade column. And for my students, take note of their grades here. So Annie Asterisk has a 97.75 and has an A. And Sally Spacebar has a 60% and a D-. So let's check the ILP integration quickly just to make sure that those grades are coming through correctly. So to access the ILP integration tool, you'll go to your control panel in the course, click on Course Tools, and then click on ILP Integration, and then click on the Final Grades button that appears on the page. So what you can see on this page is you'll see a list of all the students that are in your Grade Center, and in the current grade column, if you correctly configured a final grade column in the course that's picking up from assessment grades, you'll see that the grades should reflect what you have in your final grade column. So Annie Asterisk has a 97.75 and an A, and Sally Spacebar has a 60% and a D-. At this point, you may feel comfortable enough to enter final grades into your final grades text box and click Submit to post the grades to InfoOnline.